I now understand the obsession people have with Louis Vuitton bags on Film Threat Reviews. I'm Alan Ng. I'm with Zorianna Kit, and today we review Beasts Clawing at Straws. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and tell us what you thought of this movie. A struggling restaurant owner caring for his sick mother finds a bag of cash in a sauna locker, while a customs officer gets into trouble while his girlfriend runs off with the money he borrowed from a loan shark. It's directed by Yong-Hoon Kim. Whole bunch of actors that I don't know. This is a Korean film, which is an interesting aspect to it. It's a thriller. It's all over the place. Zorianna, what did you think of Beasts Clawing at Straws?
Well, I think you only talked about 2 storylines here. I think there's like probably about 10 more going on.
So here, let me just go over it. There's a gym attendant, as I mentioned. He finds the bag of cash in a gym locker. He's caring for his wife and his mother more. His wife is not in there. There's a custom inspector who owes money to a mob boss. Then you have the investigator of that crooked customs inspector. Then you have a brothel owner, one of her escorts, and then a client of that escort. So there's our people going after this bag of cash.
Yes, and it all centers around this bag of cash in a Louis Vuitton bag.
Which is a very nondescript bag. No one ever notices it when you carry one of those around.
Yeah, totally, exactly. Especially because none of these characters are rich ever. So if they were even to carry a bag like this, you would automatically raise your eyebrows. But however, I've never coveted a bag like that, more in my life after watching this movie. Seriously, the movie really got me at the beginning. I mean, the movie opens with a close-up on this bag that someone is carrying, and you're just following it, and you end up inside this kind of spa bath type of place, fancy locker, and the bag gets stuffed in there. And then that is the beginning of the movie. And the film is told in these different chapters. Each chapter has a different theme. And so you meet all these different characters. And at first, you're really not sure how they're interconnected. You wonder if they are. You don't even really quite understand. I thought it was all the same timeline at first. And then the more as the movie unfolded, I was like, oh, wait, this is not the same timeline.
I mean, I see that a lot nowadays where we're jumping in timelines, but we're not letting you in on the fact that we've done it. Yeah. And so this one, I think I was 15, 20 minutes in before I realized, oh, we're in the past.
It took me even longer, but then the timelines slowly start to merge. You start to see the connection, and then it just culminates in this ending where, it's a full circle ending in a weird way, but I don't know how else to describe it without actually spoiling anything. But I was fully along for the ride. I got, it was a little, sometimes I couldn't keep track of everything and there was some confusion, but the thing is you just got to sit with it. You just got to keep with it and it'll all make sense in the end.
Yeah. This movie has so many twists and turns in it and a lot of turns you don't even see coming. The brothel owner, to me, there's a big revelation about her that just comes way out of nowhere, but you see that they've been planting the seeds of this turn from the very beginning, and it's insane. But then there's the whole story of one of her escorts, and that story where she meets a Chinese client who wants to rescue her. And it's just I was just amazed of just how so many storylines there are, how many dangling storylines there are, and then how they weave together at the end.
Yes.
And how even they snap off a few strands here and there just for effect.
I was also surprised at how bloody and gory it got towards the end. I didn't anticipate,
but not in a way you expect.
Yes, but nevertheless, it was quite violent. I mean, just casually violent, like almost like in a way that like Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrel was, or maybe certain Tarantino films. Not full on there. I mean, they definitely are. This is not a Guy Ritchie wannabe film or a Tarantino wannabe film, but there is just these sort of elements there that, and definitely the violence aspect is something that just gets introduced and was a little jarring. Not you know, it didn't throw me for a loop, but I was like, wow, like the body count starts to pile up here.
Yeah. You know, you bring up something interesting. One thing I thought about while watching it was, you know, if an American filmmaker were to take this story and make an American adaptation of it, just how bad it would be. You know, I think if someone with less capable hands like a Guy Ritchie or a Quentin Tarantino were to grab it, they would try to add kind of a Tarantino or Ritchie swagger to it, which would at that point destroy the entire movie. This film is very grounded. As insane as it gets, it's very grounded and never tries to be more than you know, never tries to go for anything over the top other than the actual events that occur in this movie, and that really appealed to me. And I just felt like had they tried to lighten it up, had they tried to you know put a little humor into it, I think it would have destroyed this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it had moments that you thought like, were they that they could have sort of been humorous, like the loan shark has this side goon with a weird haircut, and that keeps eating all the time, and so he doesn't actually say a word in this movie, this goon, but there's something slightly odd about him that's slightly comedic and slightly off, although it's never being played for laughs.
Yeah, I mean, what he does at the end of the movie, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is a great capper to this entire movie. I love the Korean take on this, and I just feel like an American take would just ruin it. And one thing about Korean movies, especially with like Parasite, you know, of all the Asian countries and the films they produce, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Philippines, and so on, I always felt like the Korean films are the most American films in terms of the way the dramas are written, the dramas are shot, and how their stories are told. And this one definitely falls into that category.
Definitely falls in that category. I mean, you know, you've got a big fashion brand that is as American coveted as can be with Louis Vuitton. It's like it opens the movie, it closes the movie, and I can never look at a bag like that the same for as long as I'll live after seeing this movie.
Oh, they do respect the brand so much that no blood is ever shed on the actual bag.
Blood. You're absolutely right. I think the company would be very proud to be associated with this.
It comes out clean and looking great.
Yeah.
And on the arm of anyone who carries that around. All right.
Yes.
So based on, you know, you really connected with the movie. You liked the thrills, the stories, the characters. You got lost only once. I'm gonna guess you gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.5. Right. I did enjoy the ride. I didn't always follow it, but I just think, you know, just go with it. Let it take you where it takes you, and just enjoy that. It's always nice to see a foreign film because it's not as predictable as some of the American movies. There's always something a little different. 8.5 for me. And I think you may have enjoyed it even more than I did, but I don't think you would have given it more than 8.5.
No, I gave it an 8. I'm not sure why I didn't give it an extra half point. Maybe I could have, but I gave it 8. But it sounds like I liked it just as much as you did. So so you know, it's definitely a recommendation for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I love how grounded it is. I love how complex the story is, and I love how just everything works together at the end. And you know. Yeah, and like you said, how that bag just kind of bookends things was just the right touch to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's our review of Beasts Clawing at Straws. Be sure to watch it, then like, subscribe, and comment as to what you thought here on our Film That YouTube channel. So with that, let's get out of here.